Hello everyone, my name is Lalo Kwemi and welcome to another episode of Say What You Know. On today's episode, I have with me two amazing women who I had to beg to come on my podcast to talk about their experience on being a single parent and speak about love, vulnerability. Yeah, basically share their stories with you guys, and I hope you guys get to pick one or two things. Do you understand? I would like them to introduce themselves. What's your name, please?
Okay, I'm Funke Eniola.
Hi, Funke.
Hi.
Can you please tell us your name, please?
I'm Daniela Godfrey.
Hi, Daniela. How are
Hi.
you? How are you feeling?
I'm good.
All right, cool. So, my first question on my podcast, and I'm directing to Funke first, is what does love mean to you, first of all?
Okay. Love is actually a very powerful thing, and it means a lot of things. But to me, love is sacrifice. Yeah. And I would like to go towards the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, like how Jesus Christ came, he sacrificed himself, he died for us on the cross and all of that. So for me, if you must love, you must be willing to sacrifice yourself for that cause. And do away with your selfishness, your all about me mentality kind of thing, and then give yourself to that person or that cause or whatever it is that you are particularly interested in. And it'll go a long way for you, really. And you have to be intentional about it. Yeah, exactly. You have to be intentional. You have to give it your all and never give up.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is she? Daniela, what does love mean to you? It can be one word. So what does love mean?
Okay, I think just going off like what you said, like the Bible, things like in Corinthians, love is kind, it's patient, it's not self-seeking, it's just everything it is like in that verse. Like it's kind, it's patient, it's not self-seeking, doesn't envy, doesn't boast. So yeah, you have to do a lot of like personal work when it comes to like loving someone else the way they actually are meant to be loved.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you spoke about love being sacrificed. Do you feel you had like that in your relationship? I mean, you're a mother. Sorry, guys, Funke is a mother. Yes, and that's the reason why she's here to speak about being a single parent. So I'm asking, like, so did you?
Oh yes.
Did you get that?
Yes, of course.
No, did you get it? No, did you give it? Did you get the sacrifice from it?
From love.
Yeah.
I had to give the sacrifice basically.
So you were the one that gave.
Yeah, for my boy. I mean, there were so many things that I wanted to do, but I had to shelve it because of him. And I didn't want to, I wanted to give him my 100% since it was just me and him. And I wanted to give him my all, my full attention, my presence, my everything basically. You know, I didn't want him to be influenced by external forces or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had to raise him single-handedly. I didn't hire a nanny or anything like that, because I mean, growing up too, I realized that we're being influenced by the maids, drivers, and stuff like that. So our parents were not like a major factor in our lives because we're just too busy doing their own thing. And obviously, I'm from this broken home as well, growing up. So and it impacted on me negatively, and I didn't want that for my son. So I said, okay, do you know what can I do that I can earn a good source of living, and at the same time to give me enough time, you know, to raise my son. And I was able to do that. So
wait, was your husband ever in the picture?
My ex.
Your ex-husband, was he ever in the picture?
No. So my My marriage ended shortly after my boy was a year old.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so he was never really in the picture. So I had to like raise him all by myself.
I mean, so for me, reason why I decided to even talk about like this topic is, I mean, also, I was raised by a single mom. Do you understand? And I mean, even if I was like as a baby, I didn't get to like understand everything that she went through. But I mean, as an adult now, I kind of have like an idea.
All the things that she's done.
I love her too much, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's why I'm interested in this, and I feel like, and the reason why I brought Daniela here, I'd rather let Daniela speak about her story first, before I start acting like I know everything. Hi, Daniela.
Hi.
Yeah, I don't know if she's upset with me, guys. I have no idea. But yeah, you have a son.
Mm-hmm.
How's your son?
How is he?
How old is your son?
He's 3 years old.
Was his dad ever in the picture? Was it just you? What's it?
Yeah, I mean, we were dating for about 2 years. He was in the picture up until my son was like 3 months old. Yeah. And when I say in the picture, like, we're together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's just been you since then?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's calm. I'm just going to go wide right now, right? So one of the I don't know if I say saddest thing I ever did, but a very, very something I wasn't very comfortable with happened to me a while ago. My cousin, we grew up together. Me and Dami is like, the age gap between me and Dami is like 2 months, and she moved to the UK, and we used to speak like back to back. And one time she sent me a message. She said, "We need to talk." I mean, if there was a normal bill that sent me a message, "We need to talk," I can think, okay, you don't fuck up. Yeah, but it was my cousin. I'm like, what does Dami want? She calls me again. I'm like, Dami, I'll call you back. But I don't know. I just automatically thought, maybe she's pregnant too, because she said we need to talk. Like, my cousin never just say we need to talk. Then I stupidly called her back and said, "Hello, Dami. Please, I beg, what? How far? I hope you're not pregnant too." That's what I just said. She was like, "No." I said, "Better." I'm like, "I'll call you back." Boom. And we talk on the phone. I mean, my cousin, I'm not bothered about looking at her body. She's FaceTiming me. We're talking for months. And randomly, her mom called me after 9 months to say, "Dami to be more." I'm like, huh? I'm like, huh? Because I spoke to Dami like 3 days ago. And I felt bad because I'm like, obviously she wanted to like speak to me about it, and my response was just the worst. Because this is like my closest cousin. And I apologize, Dami. I'm apologizing like on air for not being that good cousin. But yeah, man. So, yeah, and that's why I'm like leading to your story. Because I saw Daniela's YouTube. Daniela has a YouTube channel. And I saw you said your daddy know about your pregnancy. And that's where Dami came up.
Oh, okay.
So how's that process like? What was that process?
What? Him not knowing?
I mean, so
like
why did you not tell him?
Oh, I mean, my dad is like pretty strict. Like, it's kind of like his way or like the highway. Like, yeah, there's no like middle ground. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was really excited actually. And I knew I wanted to have the baby, but I knew he wasn't going to go for it. So, I mean, it just made sense to like not tell him, so we don't like go back and forth and I have peace of mind during my pregnancy. So, yeah. I think I was also a bit scared of his reaction. Yeah.
I mean, when you told him what happened, was there a better response? Did you get the response you thought you were going to get?
Oh, hell no.
How was it?
He reacted exactly the way I expected him to.
Negatively?
Oh, yeah. Literally like, oh, lock the gates, don't let her in, like that kind of reaction.
So, baby daddy leaves you 3 months. Dad says, lock the gate.
Oh, yeah, essentially. Yeah, my baby daddy and my daddy left me for dead.
Yeah. So how did you?
I mean, I was depressed for a while actually, yeah. But I just had to like get myself together. Yeah, and I think that's when like I started taking like God seriously and like my faith seriously, and just like really like helped me find like purpose. I'm like, okay, instead of like wallowing in your pain, why don't you actually like use this to motivate other people? Because you're not the only one going through this process. There are other people out there who are literally going through this, and you've literally already been through it, so you can like just help them through it. So yeah.
Well, that's. Can you relate to that?
Yes, it's kind of similar in a way, but what happened was we started dating, and then like 2-3 months in, I fell pregnant, and I thought that what was going to remedy the whole
So
solution.
you dated for 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought what would remedy the whole solution was to just get married. Since
after 2-3 months.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I was pregnant.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Exactly, and so he took me to his parents and all of that, and then he said, "Don't tell your parents yet, you know," and all of that. I said, "Yes, okay, no problem." And then we started planning the marriage. He met my family, and then we got married under like 6 months.
You didn't get to know this guy.
I didn't get to know him at all. So, I mean, then I had Brian. And then, although while we're dating and preparing for the marriage, I was seeing a few signs, yeah, you know, and I'm like, can I deal with this? Can I deal with this? Can I not deal with this? You know, but I saw a lot of signs actually. I saw a lot of red flags, but I couldn't interpret them for starters. I didn't know what they meant, but I just knew that it was unsettling. But I was like, okay, do you know what? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. So I gullibly went into the marriage, and then we started having problems from day one. Yeah, there was no peace basically, and I didn't even understand anything about pregnancy and stuff like that. So it was after like a month or so, and we're having like, it was quite turbulent, I won't lie. I had to tell my dad, "Dad, you see, I'm pregnant too." And it's like, how I think I was like 4 months or so, no, about 6 months then. And my dad was like, "Well, you should have told me." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, you know, but I didn't know how to."
Yeah, because of fear?
Yeah, I mean, disappointment, not fear. Really.
How old were you?
How old was I then? I was in my early 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I was already working. I had a good job and all of that, so there was no issue. He was also working. And my dad was like, "Okay, don't worry, he'll pray for me." My dad is a pastor, a pastor, sorry. But like, "I'll pray for you and all of that. Anything that you need, just call me. If you're having issues, I'll tell you how to deal with it or handle it and all of that." So I was like, "Okay, all right, Daddy." But at some point, I got fed up of calling my dad. Say, "Okay, this is going on, that's going on. He did this, he did that, and all of that." And I, for one, both of us just went in there clueless. We didn't go for counseling or anything like that. We just rushed the whole thing because I'm like, I don't want to have my child outside wedlock. And I saw Shiggy. I saw Shiggy. And we're both uninformed. We were young. We were silly. And we just thought we could figure things out. But that's the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody, really. So then Brian came, and then there was more issues. I just knew that I was always sad.
Did you have Brian before you got married?
No, after I got married.
Okay, after.
Yeah. I knew I was always sad, angry. I was just my emotions were just all over, and I didn't know what the problem was. And he too didn't know what it was, and he just thought that maybe I was being deliberate. And I'm like, well, I don't know, I just can't. I didn't know that I had postpartum depression. All that while, you know, I didn't like my body. I didn't bond with my son. I wasn't even, I don't know. I wasn't lactating. So I couldn't breastfeed and all of that. And for about 3 months, because like I said, my emotions were just all over, and and then the people around me too were.
Did you guys try therapy, counseling?
We're busy fighting. So, I mean, people around us too were clueless, and then most of the advices that I got from mothers, aunties, and all of that was like, "Hey, sorry, I'm speaking Yoruba.
Yeah,
like, you have to be patient with him and all of that, you know." And I'm like, patient with what? Really? I mean, this whole environment is toxic. So how can I raise a child in this toxic environment? Tell me. I'm like, you know, if he calls you stupid, you take it like that. So they were
I don't know, but shout out to our Yoruba mothers that would always let us stay inside anything, regardless. I feel like even if I don't know what situation that will make like an old Yoruba woman say, "Oh yeah, makore or pack your load and go." I feel like whatever it is,
maybe those that
we'll
know
just keep
better.
saying. I feel like maybe like the new generation kind of people, maybe. But no, I mean,
old Yoruba.
yeah, like, I mean, for anybody, my mom is 60.
But she knows better now. She's enlightened.
No, so maybe not my mom. So my mom's mom will obviously tell her, because my mom had it rough too. Do you understand? It was my mom that decided I'm out. Like her mom kept giving her excuse. Oh, stay. You should. Because my mom she didn't have me till she was 40. She had like issues with like having kids early, and yeah, like it's it's disgusting to hear like how parents would just keep telling women stay. Yeah, it's not the best.
So, all that advice was just driving me crazy. Like, what do you mean by I should be patient, staying there, hanging there, pray? Ah, God. That prayer thing, I did it. But I just found out that the more I prayed, the deeper the issues, right? And maybe that was God's way of telling me that he never approved of the marriage in the first place, but I just said, oh God, just fix it, just fix it. I don't want to be a divorcee like my parents. But God was like, he had a better plan for me, really. So I would say that my divorce was a blessing. Yes, and the day I stopped praying for the restoration of my marriage, that was when I had peace. So from that moment, I started having peace. I'm like, okay, so God, this is you talking all this while I wasn't listening. And every time I would try to be stubborn, you knock me back into reality. And here I am today. I am happier, really. If I had to rewind back and say, okay, Funke, if this same guy should come again and all of that, would you give him a chance? The answer would be no. No, because we're poles apart. He's a different person. I am different. And there was a lot of gaslighting. Yes. And
it was toxic.
It was toxic, really. He was toxic. And he's a lawyer, so he was always using
he has his words.
Those manipulative
those people.
Things to make you feel like you're the one with the problem and all of that. And I, as much as possible, I wasn't really saying much. Because they were like, oh, don't say too much. Don't talk about your husband like that. But meanwhile, he was just like throwing me out there under the bus, and everybody was just taking punches and jabs at me and all of that, and I'm like, is this marriage? And deep down, I just knew that it wasn't meant to be. But I was in denial. I was in denial for a very long time. Even after the separation, I was still
so you left after a year?
Like about a year and a half. And then he just went to the streets. Well, and I was miserable. I'm like, well, God, bring it back. It's my husband.
Did you want that? Did you say that?
Yes, I did, because I didn't know any better. The reason why I was saying all
Who
of that
filed?
was he did. He's a lawyer now.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. The reason why I was saying all of that was because of shame.
Yeah.
Like, what will people say?
Yeah.
And all of that, they will say, okay, her parents were divorced. She's also, generational thing.
Yeah.
She's brought it upon herself.
Too soon, after 1 year.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But
was it a big wedding?
Yeah, it was a big wedding.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know that.
It was a big wedding, and see, like I said, there were a lot of red flags. I spent most of the money. I practically financed that wedding. Let me put it that way. Because I was one I was pushing for. I was pushing for the marriage. I'm like, oh, I'm pregnant right now. I can't have a child after the
You wanted your fairy tale.
Yeah, I'm
wedding.
getting rid of the baby. Let's keep it, and all of that. And I was like, okay, no problem. Right on.
I mean, did you have kids before?
No, he was young, just like me.
Oh. Danny, don't let us dive into Funke too much. How was your own, how was your 3 months? And at what point did you decide to leave? Did you leave or he left? Who left? Your baby daddy or you?
He left.
He left?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you wanted to still fight for it?
No. I think what's yours is yours. You don't. Yeah.
So you were done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so did you go through a phase of like, oh my God, how am I going to handle this? Oh, how was your phase like?
So I mean, I'm pretty strong-willed. So when he decided to leave, yeah, I wouldn't lie. There was a part of me that was like, okay, because this is someone that you're used to, you've been dating for like a while, and you just had a kid with. So it's just like the normal, like human, like woman response. You like, this is like, it's kind of like if you're married and like the person you're married to dies, like you feel like you feel
The loss.
yeah, like you just lost something. So yeah, I definitely felt that. So yeah, a part of me was like, okay, yeah, like I just lost my person. But at the same time, I wasn't trying to fight for it. Maybe that's like the Delta pride in me. So yeah, I didn't really like, I just like let it be, like, yeah, and focus on myself really.
Well, speaking about fight, like, but how much fight should you fight to try and save? Because I mean, would you say your major reason for wanting to even stay in it was because of your child or because of you?
Like I said, the shame really. I didn't want that generational curse thing to continue with me and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think my reason for wanting to fight for it was wrong. You know, and it wasn't like I was really in love with him. I just kind of like liked him, and I felt like he had prospects, good prospects, and all of that. And I'm like, okay, we could build together after all. Like young guy, up and coming, so we can build together and become something. That was what I was looking out for, you know. And then when he came my way, I felt that that was the right match. And I really didn't do, like I said, I just went in there clueless. And I didn't do any research. I didn't go asking questions from the elderly or people with experiences and all of that. I just went in there blindly. And I got burnt really bad.
And there's a lot of people that want to do, I told you so, I told you so, and all those people.
All those things don't matter to me.
Yeah. I mean, what step, like, I mean, maybe not every step, but like, what's something you know that you did that helped you like get over like that process, that time?
Like I said, when I stopped praying for the restoration of the marriage, I started having peace. And then
Did that process affect work?
Yes, it did. I couldn't go to work. I mean, I don't want to really go into the details of everything that I went through and all of that, but at some point, my son was not with me. Yeah, he was not with me, so I had time to go back to work, because all that while, yes, I was a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, I'd resigned from my job, and I said, okay, do you know what? I'll stay back. Let me have the child, and after that, I'll go back to work. But that didn't happen. And then even after the separation, I was jobless and all of that. So it was just me and my boy. And then my son now had a major surgery during that time too, and all of that. So it was really depressing, and I was depressed. I was like a living corpse, if you had seen me then. And I don't know how, but I pulled through. And I think my family too was a good support system for me as well, because they were always encouraging me. They would encourage me, they would show me love, they would show me tough love, because they needed me to get back on my feet quickly. And for that, I am so grateful. And shortly after the surgery, my son was taken from me by him. And so I said, my family said, okay, do you know what, don't worry about that. Yeah. He's also his son, so he will take care of him no matter what. He can't harm him, just focus on yourself, go back to work, and everything will fall in place. Don't worry. Just keep trusting God. So I said, okay, no problem. And I did. I went back to work, and I worked for about a year, and then they brought the boy back.
They brought him back?
They brought him back, yes. I said, okay, when they brought him back, I'm like, I couldn't, it was hard juggling work and raising him as well. And I tried that for about 2 months, and I didn't like what I saw. Yeah. Because at some points he would see me and not be happy and all of that. Or by the time I'm back from work, he's asleep. By the time he's up, I'm gone and all of that. And I felt like, do you know, this boy has been gone for so long, and I don't want him to see me as a stranger, you know, that he just calls mommy. I wanted to bond with him. So I took a bold step. I left my job, and I started my own business. and then it was convenient for me to now spend time bond with him and then raise him. But that's why.
Oh, that's where you start, because Funke is also an interior decor designer. Sorry, apologies. Okay, so that's what made that happen.
Yeah.
Okay, how long have you been doing that for?
Since 2016, so that's about 7 years now.
Oh wow, that's good. It's going well.
It's going well.
Daniela. So I feel like this space is just making us have to turn back to Daniela. Sorry, Daniela.
Yes.
I mean, so how was, just like what Funke said right now, how was your own, what were the things you did to get through to this point? How was your journey after that 3 months of my baby daddy leaving? How was steps you took to get to this point?
It was a pretty rocky process because shortly after we parted ways, he didn't end up seeing his son for a few months. I was scared that I was going to run away with him because he's an American citizen, and so is my son by virtue of so I'm okay, and he had threatened with that. Yeah, and I feel with the way Nigeria is set up, you can just even go to to the embassy or whatever, and just, oh yeah,
this is what is happening.
They have the same last name. I mean, who's going to question you, right? If anything, I'll be the one trying to prove that this is my son because my last name is different. So for a while he actually held on to him for a while, and this is me running around Lagos trying to get my son. I even went to the police station to report and all of that. So his parents had to come down to Nigeria. I had to call his parents, and they had to come down because they don't stay here. So when they got here, his father died of COVID going back to because that was during the time of COVID. So he was really angry. He said, "Oh, I killed his father, because I brought him to Nigeria." So during that process, there was really it was really toxic. It was really, really toxic for the both of us. So I had to, first of all, forgive him for everything, even though he never apologized for anything, right? Because if you keep holding on to things, you can't really move past everything and get to a middle ground where you can co-parent. Because I'm okay, my son is getting older. Does he really want us? Do I really want him in this space where he's seeing his parents always fighting? We even had to change the school because the school was aware this family there's a lot going on here. So I had to forgive him, even though that apology was not coming. After that, I had to quit smoking because I was literally smoking a lot to just calm.
Skip.
Just forget about your problems, all your sorrows. I had to quit that and just put myself in the right frame of mind. Your son is getting older. How do you want him to see you, as a mom, as a parent? So that's pretty much it.
I mean, I know Funke goes to the gym because she goes to my gym, and obviously I knew she was way older than me, so I never wanted to do anything. But she looked like every gym hot babe that I've seen. I'm sorry to say, I won't even lie, but I mean, then I could tell that. I think I actually one time that I know you're older than me, but but I mean, so and Daniela also goes to the gym. I don't think she's as strong as us, but she goes to the gym too. I mean, what do you think the gym has that helped in any way, going to the gym? Wait, sorry. Okay. First one over here. I don't want to agree with, because some people say, oh, if you go to the gym, your problem is going to go away. I don't think there's magic there.
No.
So, but I know that it has its benefits. So that's what I'm asking, what benefits has he added any benefit? Or did they help through that process?
2 years ago, what brought me to the gym? It was another heartbreak.
I love it.
You love it.
Yeah,
Nothing like a heartbreak to reset your mind.
I mean, after my divorce experience, I said, okay, I was going to get married again and all of that, even though I still believe in love. But then I met some guy and we were talking marriage, and I'm like, oh, okay, is this how it happens, really? So I took him home, and I could remember all my brothers were like, Funke, take your time, don't rush. Because they are guys and they had obviously seen something, they had picked up something, and my older brother was like, okay, take your time, don't rush. They wanted me to study him, get to know him well, not to repeat the same mistake as I did. And this guy seemed too good to be true. And I kind of knew, but I couldn't really place it. But when I went to meet his mom said something about him and I picked it. She said, oh, look, my son, look at him very well. She said they're all calm and all of that. He has anger issues. Okay, when she said that, I said, thank you, ma. Just put it in my pocket.
I mean, for his mom to say that, I think that's all the info you need.
That was all I needed. But the thing was that he hadn't displayed. Let me just put it that way. So he was all nice. Always, it was nice to me. It was nice to Brian. He'll take us out. He'll do stuff for us, buy us stuff, and all of that. And I'm like, okay, cool guy. But so one day I told him, or rather after the meeting with his mom, I'm like, I faced him and I told him in Yoruba that, is it the anger that your mom was talking about? I don't want to ever experience it. You know, and I meant it, but I don't think he really took me seriously. Like,
I don't think that can even be the reason I'll never be angry again. I don't think just that. Don't be angry with me ever. I don't think that's.
No, I just said I don't want to experience that anger. Yeah. You know,
a sharp guy will just say okay, and the wala will happen. So if you've seen it, follow it. That's my point.
No, because right now I know my negotiables and my non-negotiables. So I know what works for me. I understand myself better. I'm not going to go into any relationship just because of being in a relationship or being Mrs. Somebody. I don't want that. I know what works for me. So I am an impatient person. Sometimes I can be impatient, and I know that marrying somebody with anger issues is a terrible mix. It's never going to work for me. So when
After the mom breakup.
Exactly. So when the mom said that, I said, okay, fine, no problem. I took it and I said, okay, I'll keep it here.
Yeah.
And the day he displayed for me, that was when I knew that it was over. So I looked at him. I said, you know, I love you, but the truth is that I'm not going to hang around and allow you disrespect me. I won't take it. I was crying and I just walked away, and that was the last time. I didn't look back. And that was it, because I know myself better. I know what's good for me. I know what works for me. So I wasn't ready to compromise. I mean, I was shattered. I was heartbroken, but I just knew that that was the right thing to do. So walking away from that relationship was the best thing for me. Even though we had already started talking marriage and all of that, but I wasn't eager. Yeah. Because I know marriage is not easy. Marriage is hard. Yeah. Because I've experienced it, and if I was going to do it again a second time, I wanted to get it right. Yeah. So after that heartbreak, I said, okay, Funke, what do you want to do with your life? I said, okay, do you know, why don't you just go to the gym and all of that? And I've heard so many things about like what you had said earlier, but really,
what did I say?
Like, oh, if you go to the gym, it helps you
cool.
get rid of, So I started gymming, but most of
the time... I thought it was the other stigma. Okay, it's cool.
No, so, I mean, I came to the gym and I would just walk out, but most of the time I just have like blank stares. I'm thinking about how everything fell apart, how he broke my heart, the things he did to me, the things he did, the things he didn't do, things I did, the things I did not. Yeah. You know, and I mean, I was depressed actually, but I said, okay, do you know, I'm just going to pick myself up again. I will not allow this to weigh me down. And I didn't want to become a bitter person. I wanted to become a better version of myself, and I'm like, okay, I'll start doing things the right way, what is expected of me, to hasten my healing process, you know, and move on. I wasn't doing any of this because I wanted him to look back and see me and say, she's looking good. I didn't want all those revenge stories kind of thing. I'm not into that, you know. I just wanted any development or improvement.
Some of us are petty, shall we? Do it for revenge body, but
you know, any development that I do is for my own benefit, not for anybody. If he sees me tomorrow and says, oh, you look good, thank you very much, and then, you know, I go on about my business. It's not for, I'm not doing any of this because I have it at the back of my mind that I want somebody to look back and regret. No, at all. I don't have that time. That's the truth. So that was how my fitness journey started, you know, and I have been consistent for the past 2 years now. And mentally, yes, I'm in a good place. Physically, I am in a good place.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you look very good, by the way.
Thank you.
Interesting. Danny, what's your
Almost
fitness? What's your own fitness journey? How did it start? Oh, did it start like how did it start?
I've been working out for about 3 years now. So about the same age as my son, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. How did it start? I mean, I wanted to look a certain way, so I figured, okay, go to the gym. But after that, it just became a lifestyle, to be honest. I mean, if you look good, you feel good, and yeah, you do good too. So yeah, I like to look good. So yeah.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask her, because I remember like my mom, right? I mean, like I said, single mom, and because she remarried like after like my dad, and well, that point was weird because she remarried after my dad. I mean, I knew she was talking to a man on the phone for like months, yeah, hours, like that kind of thing. I sleep with my mom in the same bed for a long time. Then
How long exactly?
what? Well, I stopped sleeping on the bed with my mom at like 11:10. That's my point. Not as an adult. Yeah. So so I was like listening to the calls, because he was in America or something. So time difference, and I remember when he came, he used PS2 to bribe me. So I mean, it wasn't. I don't know how I thought that way at 12 because my mom came back. My mom picked from the airport. She told us, oh yeah, someone is coming, She told us, like, me and my siblings, I have 2 other siblings, and she said she wants to get married, that she feels lonely, and I mean, she can't do it on her own, right? And she needs somebody. And me, I just thought about it, that it makes sense, because I mean, everybody would grow up, we'll go to uni, secondary school, and like move out, yeah. And I mean, I love my mom so much that I didn't even want her to like be alone. Do you understand? And I don't think my sister agreed with it. My sister was still, even my brother and sister, I don't think they were fine with her like moving with the man. And and luckily for them, they were in uni already. So when we moved, it was just me. I moved to Ikorodu, from Ikeja to Ikorodu. Like, it was a different life for me. So I just moved. And when we moved, 2 months after, Baba was cheating. 1 month after, he got the neighbor pregnant. Wow. Yeah, I know, right? And yeah, this was like very like weird for my mom because she has tried to, she has had like 2 marriages. This was the 3rd one, and just 3 months into it, she has gotten the neighbor pregnant. And I knew she wanted to leave that day that she found that, but because of what would people say, do you get? I mean, she took her whole family here, She had to stay. He had to be shuffling one day on, one day off. I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, hey, it's not coming today. Okay, it's coming tomorrow. Okay, cool. And even trying to make your kids call the new man daddy. And that's what I was going to ask, like, because you guys are both, are you single? Mm-hmm. Are you single?
Yeah.
You're single? Okay, cool. Just asking. So yeah, like how long does it take before a new man comes and you show him to your kid? Or is that something you don't care about? Is that like a thing? That's what we think about.
Okay, let me use the other guy as an example. Like, we met in church, and he was the one who walked up to me, and then he came to me as I was getting into my car. He saw my son, but he just thought that maybe that wasn't my son, maybe like my nephew or something. And you know, we got talking, and then I'm like, okay, so I'm a single mom. And he was like, oh, okay, that's terrific. Then he now opened up to me that, oh, he's been married before, he's a divorcee, but no kids and all of that. I'm like, oh, wow, nice. You know, but I think I introduced Brian to him after about a month.
Oh, okay.
Yes, when I felt comfortable, and then he just embraced me.
Is that the first person you've dated since Brian's dad?
Officially.
Okay. So yeah. Would you introduce like any other person you're having talking stage with to your son? Because I know some men can want to start, like maybe on the first week, they can want to start saying, oh, how's your son? Let me see your son, just to try and
okay, yes. Yeah. So, but the thing is that I engage my son. He's 10 years old, so we talk. And he see these kids, right? They study us, they watch us, they know what's going on. That's the truth. And as much as possible, he would ask me about anybody that he sees with me. Like, okay, who is the person that came to my school with you and all of that? I'm like, oh, that's just my friend. Your friend, right? And do you like him? Those are the kind of questions he would ask me. And I'm like, well, I don't know. He likes me. I'm like, okay, all right. And okay, so recently, my ex-husband said he wants to come back. Yes. Yeah, so and we are still on it.
Okay.
So I told my son, I said, thinking that maybe he'll be excited about the whole thing. He was not excited. He was the least excited. I'm like, Brian, what's going on? He said, okay, so I can remember that I was driving him to school in the morning, and then I'm like, okay, so Brian, what do you think? Because he noticed that his dad has been calling. Most time when the dad calls, I just hand him over the phone, like, Brian, your dad is on the phone.
Yeah.
And this time around, when that happens, he'll say, give the phone to your mom. And then we'll be on the phone for like an hour, 2 hours talking, and Brian will come into my room, look, walk back, shake his head then. You know, it happened for some days, and he said, don't tell Brian. That's what the dad said. He's always saying, don't tell. He said, don't tell Brian. But I said, no, I'll tell you. And then I told Brian, I said, Brian, what do you think about the whole thing? He said, just give me time to think about it. That's what he said. 10 years old. And so one day, I gave him like 2 days, and I'm like, Brian, you've not said anything. He said, Mommy, do whatever makes you happy. That was what he said. And I'm like, what do you mean? Okay, would me marrying or remarrying your dad make you happy? He said, I don't think I'll be happy about it really, but if it makes you happy, fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, then he hit the car in front of me.
Sorry, I'm cutting you because I think that's what I was trying to say, because I was 12 and my mom came back to say she wants to remarry. And I didn't understand how I could think.
Because I said,
Yeah, like I thought about everything. I'm like, it makes sense for her to remarry. I'm going to do this too. Let her just have this skin. So I thought for her. Do you get? So yeah, it makes sense that Brian.
yeah, so like I said, I try to engage him and carry him along sometimes when I feel it's necessary. So with this particular one, right, when he was much younger, he would cry about his dad, missing his dad, why aren't we together and all of that. So not knowing that, you know, the boy has processed the whole thing, he has healed from it and he has moved on. And so when the topic of his dad came back again, us coming back together as a family, you know, I sold it to him. He said no. He said, then he started mentioning a few uncles that he has seen. What of that uncle? I think I prefer you with that uncle. I said, what of your dad? He said, no. So I was surprised that, you know, a 10-year-old could tell. Because sometimes when, that's why I said they observe a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on the phone with his dad, he has a way of pressing my buttons, let me put that way. So sometimes he'll come to me and hug me and say, Mom, it's okay. I'm like, Brian, I'm not mad, but you're raising your voice. That means Dad is upsetting you. So he has seen that over the course of the years, and he knows that this man is toxic for my mom. She doesn't deserve this. So when I brought it up, he was quick to say, Mommy, I don't support it. I'm not in support of it, really. I'd rather you marry someone else than my dad.
Fair enough. Then how long, like, what's the process? Like, how long do you have to date a guy before introducing to your son? Or is it like a no? Have you introduced anyone to your son? Have you dated since you're...
Officially?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
At the point where I decide to date you, like, okay, this is my boyfriend, that is a point where I can introduce you to my son. Yeah.
Fair enough. So
and that might take a while, because we might be like in the talking stage for like 3 months, 4 months, but at the point where we decide to start like dating, like courting, of course you can meet my son. Because I've already like seen the things I need to see. At what point did you get comfortable telling people that you're a single mom? Like someone like you were interested in?
Or someone that I'm interested in?
Yeah. Or just generally?
I think that was like after the divorce was finalized. 2 years after the divorce was finalized.
2 years after?
Yeah, 2 years after.
That's when you got comfortable telling people that you have a son?
Yeah, people would say he was my son, but I wouldn't introduce him as my son or tell you my stories. But I think 2 years was after when I really healed from all of that, and I didn't allow that to define me. I was not ashamed anymore. of my son. I was always so proud to say, this is my son. I will take him anywhere, you know. And if you're meeting me for the first time as a guy and you show some interest in me, I'll let you know there and then that, okay, so I have a son. So it's now left for you to decide whether you want to stay or you want to leave. There's no point in lying to anybody about my status.
I honestly wish we had like so much time, and 30 minutes is actually short because I feel like there's so much questions to ask, but time was not allowing us. And before my show ends, my chef, first of all, guys, I run a catering service again. I'll keep saying it on every episode, so Umasui. I run a catering service called Tiamo Catering, and for every episode that I do, my chef says my guest name. And you guys will tell me what you think about the food, like honest opinion. It's fine. Chef, can you bring the food?
Hey, if it's not sweet, go.
I hear you. Speak the truth.
Okay. The presentation is nice.
Thank you.
Hey, did you cook this?
Yes, I did, of course.
You could have asked me what I wanted, and I prefer jollof rice, but it's okay. Thank you. Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I waited to see if you guys would pray first, but good job. Good job, Jesus.
I don't understand.
Nice one. Do you like it?
I like it. It's tasty. I can. The spices are crunchy. That's the pepper, which is good. I can taste the. Yeah,
So Tiamo's food is sweet.
it's sweet.
Yeah, but Tiamo's
It's
food
delicious.
Tiamo's food is sweet. Please come on. Yeah, exactly. Come on, order.
You haven't
Very
asked me.
fantastic.
Daniela, sorry, I apologize.
Are you afraid of my response?
No, I'll take it.
Okay.
I have a friend called Dimeji. He already did worse, so it's fine.
Oh,
We
really?
can go on.
Yeah, it's good. Like you said, yeah, it's good. It's actually good, yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for watching this episode, and thank you very much, guys, for coming to my podcast. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are able to speak about a very vulnerable topic with me, and yeah, I really do appreciate you guys, man. God bless you guys. And thank you guys. Watch, subscribe, and like. Say what you know. Thank you very much for coming to my podcast. Bye.